The Hayley O Show. Every Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Only on bulls.co.za.
Howling, one of my favorite songs. And now we've got Jeremy on the line. Jeremy, how's it going?
Yeah, really well. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for making yourself available to chat to us this morning.
Totally fine. Thanks for having me on.
Cool. You in Cape Town heading to Joburg later today?
I am. I'm literally lugging my heavy bags down the stairs, putting them in the car, and off to the airport.
Okay, so if you sound a little out of breath, we'll understand.
Yeah, no, I've got it comes with the territory of being a one-man man. I have a lot of stuff to carry.
Sure. You need all your minions. Where are all your minions when you need them?
I know, flip. Do you have any for me?
So Jeremy, congratulations! You got the MK Award for Best Solo Artist. Your success,
Thank you.
Your success has been incredible over the last few months. What's it like being the it guy in South African music?
Jeez, I don't know if I'd call myself the it guy, but
I'd go with it.
that's a huge compliment, and it feels pretty good. Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Cool.
Manic. You don't get much time to actually stop and think about all the wins.
Sure.
So, I'm trying to actually learn how to celebrate the wins more often instead of just keeping going.
Yeah, you've got to stop for a moment and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So now, for people who don't know your music, it's kind of a mix of folk. You've got some reggae in there, some rap, even saxophone. Why do you think it kind of has taken South Africa by storm, and South Africans have really kind of latched onto your sound? Do you think it was time for something different, or this is kind of where South African music was going? You know, why do you think it's happened this way?
That is a good question. I have no idea.
Really?
I think in general, I try and make my shows a lot of fun and get a lot of crowd participation going. I think that's always had something to do with people feeling kind of attached to the music and like part of it. One of my worst things about watching bands growing up was when I didn't feel connected at all to them, and they were just doing their own thing, kind of in their own world. And I always took a very different stance on my music, and I don't know, I think that's one of the things that's hopefully been a key point, is the crowd participation.
So hooking your audience in live performances, really?
Yeah, getting them involved, you know. It doesn't not necessarily they don't have to sing along, but I mean, just making them feel like you're right there with them, you know. I think maybe it's because I didn't come from a musical background, and because I wasn't trying to do this, you know, I studied something completely different, and then I went yachting around the world.
I know, I want to hear about that. What did you study before you went traveling?
I studied copy development and finance at UCT. My honors.
Crazy, and now you just won the South African Music Award for Best Solo Artist. That's a great story.
Yeah, it's kind of like when someone does something they don't particularly want to do, they start drinking. That was me at UCT, where I used to come home in the evenings after a long day of doing financial math or something like that. And I would start playing guitar and just wouldn't be able to stop. I had all this excess kind of creative energy. And by the time my degree finished, 4 years later, I was actually becoming kind of proficient. But then I was needing to actually get a job after I finished studying, and there was no way I was going to do something with my music. I wasn't ready.
Sure.
So I went yachting and did the whole super yacht thing and traveled around and made some money.
I've heard it's a great way to make money.
Yeah, it's a great way to see the world and make money and have fun. And I really did. I got on a boat that traveled everywhere, so I was really lucky. I think I saw about 25 countries in those 2.5 years.
Yes, that's nice.
And before I left, I took a loop pedal with me because I realized I wasn't going to be able to have a band. All my friends were starting to form little bands and things like that.
And you had your loop pedal.
Yeah, I thought this is the best I'm going to be able to do right now. So I took a loop pedal with me, and I had all this time. I was on this boat, and I had this little cabin, and my loop pedal and my guitar, and I brought some harmonicas with me. And off I went for 2.5 years. Kind of solitude a lot of the time, which led to vast amounts of music being made in the evenings.
Oh, it's great. And then you came back and started gigging.
Well, I came back and I didn't know what to do with myself. I remember writing my corporate CV and thinking, well, is this what I'm going to do? But I thankfully ended up actually starting a business with some friends of mine, an organization called Green Pop, where we plant trees.
Yes.
And that was what I started doing. And about a month later, we threw our first party at Assembly to celebrate having raised 1,000 trees.
Okay.
And I thought I'd be cheeky and put myself on stage because I was organizing the event with my friends. And I was like, there was a chance to like throw myself on a stage that I would otherwise have to work for years to be able to play on.
Yeah, to say your first gig was at Assembly is quite nice.
My very first gig was at Assembly.
That's very cool.
First time I'd ever been in front of a crowd ever before, not just my first gig. Like I'd never been up in front of people. So I think maybe that might have something to do with my music being quite endearing to people, that I've been terrified since day one. Like it's just not what I was destined to be doing. So people kind of see the realness there.
Well, if you're not nervous, you don't care enough. That's what they say. Hey?
That is what they say. I've heard that. So I'm at peace with that.
So now, I mean, so your live gigs is what people talk about, and I know you opened for Xavier Rudd, and you were described as the best gig ever at Rocking the Daisies. I spoke to people who saw you perform at the Vic Falls New Year's Eve party in Zimbabwe, and they said you stole the show. And you, like you said, but you're not a performer. You're not a natural performer, would you say?
Well, maybe I am a natural performer. I'm not sure.
I
Maybe that's what I am.
I mean, you say it wasn't what you intended to do, but yes, that's it.
No.
Yes, but you definitely have something that the crowds are loving. So you said you get nervous, but what would you say is your favorite live gig that you've done to date?
Jeez, there are a lot of them actually, and they all have different things about them. Kirsten Bosch and Xavier Rudd, 6 weeks ago, whenever that was absolutely mind-blowingly incredible. Firstly, because Xavier Rudd is a big inspiration of mine growing up.
Oh, nice.
And I got to hang out with him for a few days. I was his host. I took him around.
Oh, brilliant.
We went surfing, and it was just really cool. But the week before, I did my own Kirsten Bosch show, and it was a sellout. Like, to be able to sell out your own Kirsten Bosch show in your hometown,
it's incredible.
That was one of the most special things. But I must say, Rocking the Daisies last year was the biggest crowd, and Opi Kopi a few months before that, it was just absolutely mind-blowingly, insanely big crowds. So that was really terrifying and really insane.
I think it's really endearing that you get terrified before. I think that's great because, I mean, you literally, and that's why I understand why big rock stars kind of take drugs, because you get up on a stage and hundreds and thousands of people expect you to entertain them. So it's quite a task you're taking on.
Yeah, no, it's a huge pressure. I don't know what people are thinking, putting so much pressure on rock stars or musicians in general.
But afterwards, you must be on a rush. You must be on a high, hey?
No, it is. It's a huge high. And I must say, the fear is getting less and the excitement is getting more. There is this kind of ratio that's thankfully happening.
Oh, good.
Where it becomes less terrifying and more exciting. But I wouldn't say, especially for the big shows like Kirsten Bosch a few weeks ago, there was no way not to be terrified. It's just like 5,000 people who've paid good money to come and have you provide them with entertainment.
Yeah, it's pressure.
It's a weird feeling.
And so to relax, you mentioned that you surf. You sound like quite a Cape Townian. You sound like you kind of embody like what a Cape Townian's all about.
Jeez, I don't know about that. Maybe. I live in Muizenberg. I do surf. I'm from Kommetjie.
Yeah.
I played a show last night in Noordhoek.
Awesome, I love
which was absolutely awesome, and it was at the Cape Point Vineyards, and there were just so many of my friends and family there.
Amazing.
It felt like I was just playing to all my hometowns. Well, I was, but it was, I think, to relax, I surf. But I must say, I run this organization, and I'm the CFO, as well as having my hands in all sorts of operational parts of our business for Green Pop. So
there is the business side to the Cape Townian.
Yeah, no, I work all week, all day, and I do music all night, all week.
So there's not much time to to slow things down.
No, I figured I'd take some time off once I've made it, you know.
But then once you make it, your diary's just jam-packed.
I don't know, yeah. I think when you're doing stuff, I think what I've realized is that now that I'm doing stuff that I really enjoy, all around, like I enjoy my business and I enjoy Jeremy Loops, then it doesn't really feel like work. It's stressful, but it's exciting and awesome stressful. So,
No, sure. That's the ideal
really-
situation. And Jeremy, I want to talk to you about your upcoming tour. But before that, you've mentioned a couple of times your organization Green Pop that you started. Maybe you can just tell us a little bit more about what they do?
Yeah, sure. Sorry to sound distracted. I'm like walking around my house looking for things I've left that need to be packed in the car.
Have you got your charger, your toothbrush, and underwear?
Ooh, toothbrush. Stop kidding. Green Pop, we're an organization that plants trees. So we started really as a fun way to bring Arbor Day back. That was our whole goal.
Yeah, because that was a big thing at
2010,
school, and it's kind of fallen away, hey?
Yeah, it was a big thing in school. Hey, you remember that?
Yeah.
It was happening when I was young, but it certainly doesn't happen as much. Maybe it's just because we're not in school, but I suspect it's because environmentalism maybe isn't as much of a focus anymore. And yeah, that's how we started. It's been nearly 3 years now, and we've planted about 20,000 trees in over 200 schools.
Amazing.
And yeah, we aim to green under green schools, and we do reforestation projects. So we've got this project happening in Zambia, and this project happening in Platforms Forest next month. And yeah, just really exciting stuff.
And you bring your music to the places where you plant these trees, hey?
I do. Yeah, that's part of our cool, fun, making environmentalism
Cool.
fun strategy.
And is this something that just,
Yeah.
was a passion? I mean, you said you started Green Pop before the music got big. So it was just kind of a cause close to your heart that you decided, to initiate.
Well, a good friend of mine, Misha Teasdale, who I just recently moved in with, he got back from a long trip abroad where he had racked up, I think, about 40 flights worth of miles just flying all around the world on this ad campaign.
Wow.
And I myself had been back from 2.5 years of traveling the world and having a great time at the expense of the environment. Those big super yachts chow through pretty much every rapid.
Sure.
So for me, it was really about just at the time giving back a little bit and just trying to get involved in some wholesome goodness.
Cool.
But it turned into much more. By the end of the first month, we realized actually there was some sort of a business model here, and there were companies and wanting to get involved, and there were volunteers wanting to volunteer their time, and there were schools phoning us every day saying, please come plant trees at our school.
Oh,
We
great.
heard you guys are planting trees at this school.
And you can incorporate your music, so it's kind of,
Yeah, it felt like the right thing. Well, it all just kind of happened quite naturally, really.
nice.
But, yeah.
And now you're heading overseas to LA and to London, and you recording a new album.
Yeah, can you believe it?
When is this tour to the States? And maybe you can tell us about this performance you've been asked to attend in LA.
Sure. The thing I was invited to in LA is called Muse Expo. And
Sorry, just say that
the
again.
lady-
Muse Expo.
This Muse Expo.
Okay.
It's one of the most. It's kind of looked at as the United Nations of music conferences because it's.
Jeremy, did we lose you there?
important music people.
Sorry, we lost
I'm
you
still
there.
here. Can you
So
hear
you
me?
said it was like the UN of music of bands, UN conference of bands.
Well, there are a lot of showcases all around the world that happen, and a lot of the time, the way they roll out is they're kind of, I don't know, 200 or 300 bands all get together, and it's like a big festival showcase, and lots of booking agents, etc., come and scout out new talent.
Sure.
This one in LA, there are only 30 bands are invited to from around the world.
Wow.
And the guy who runs it, the guy, Pat Bisler, is the very man who broke acts like Coldplay, Dido, Temper Trap, most recently Katy Perry.
What are your nerves
Very
going to be
exciting.
like for that performance?
Shoot, I don't know. The keynote speaker is Larry King. It's just a very high-profile event,
No, that's
and
amazing.
there aren't many bands. It's not a festival. I think you basically play for half-an-hour slot in front of 400 of the world's most powerful music people, and they
Wow.
will just sit there and watch you and expect.
Well, first of all, it's a privilege to play at something like that, and then I mean, fingers crossed that something happens from there. Hey.
It is a privilege. It's awesome. And but they charge a pretty penny for the privilege.
Yes.
It's $10,000 just to enter the event.
What a cheek, eh?
So they invite you and they make you pay a lot of money.
And no one's going to say no, so they're going to get their $10,000.
Yeah, and very few bands do say no. I think if you say no, it's one of those things you'll probably regret for the rest of your life.
Sure.
So it's not one of those things that many people turn down.
And I see you doing crowdfunding for this trip to the States and for the completion of your new album. You've done crowdfunding. I think that's really cool. Like, why not? People do it overseas all the time.
Why not? People do it overseas all the time. I think also it speaks to the kind of music that I've been making.
Yes.
I've got a lot of friends and fans who are kind of a lot more than fans. I think that word is more like our community. We've got a really strong Jeremy Loops community, and it's been going really well so far. I think we've raised over $3,000 in the last 3 days.
In the last...
And a lot of people want the album, and the perks that you offer are all valuable perks. You know, we have the album there. You can even become a co-producer on the albums.
Wow.
There's all sorts of fun things you can do.
Did you say you raised $3,000 in the last 3 days?
Yeah.
Wow. That's going very well.
Not bad, eh?
Not bad at all. And if people are part of your community, how do they help you out? Where do they go to donate money?
It's an Indiegogo campaign, which is one of the primary funding platforms online. But they could just go to Indiegogo and type Jeremy Loops and they would find it. But they could also just go to my Facebook page, and we have been kind of non-stop on about it there for the last few days. So you can't miss it if you go to my Jeremy Loops Facebook page, or on Twitter as well. Jeremy Loops on Twitter, it's all there.
Okay, so if you want to support Jeremy's tour and the completion of his new album, you look for the Indiegogo campaign.
Yeah, a cool perk that we put on there was a lifetime free entry to Jeremy Loops shows.
That's very convenient, because I tried to get tickets to your Joburg show tonight and at JCC, and it's sold out.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I've sold 2 of them already. They're $500 each, and you get a special little VIP tag, and that's yours.
And you flash it at the door and say, take that.
Yeah, get out of my way. I'm VIP, yeah.
Okay, so lots of perks if you do contribute. And I was going to ask you, Jeremy, like where to from here, but I guess it's to the States and it's to this showcase, and then you'll take it from there and roll with the next album.
Yeah, that's it. I think I'm going to go see what happens in LA and New York and UK. I think whatever happens, it's going to be pretty exciting and pretty monumental. As far as my career goes.
Sure.
And, when I get back, I'll carry on work on the album, finance providing, and, hopefully have it all wrapped up. And who knows, I'm going to Swaziland for Bushfire Festival as I land when I get back, which is, I don't know, have you been to Bushfire Festival?
I haven't, but I did read about your performance there. You've performed there before, hey?
I have. That is one of the most awesome festivals ever.
When is that?
I highly recommend getting there. It's in the last week of May, so the last weekend, first weekend of June.
Okay, so you're off to the States soon then?
Yeah, next Thursday.
Oh, flip. Wow, this is just around the corner. Okay. All right. Well, Jeremy, wishing you so much luck. I mean, your music and your shows, like the fans are loving it. I love your songs, and I really believe like you're gonna fly over there. So all the best of luck, and enjoy your weekend in Josie.
Yeah, I will. I'm looking forward to it, and thanks for all the good wishes and support. It means a lot.
Cool. Hopefully we can catch up with you when you get back.
Cool. Nice one.
Okay. Cheers, Jeremy. Fly safe.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye. Right, so that's Cape Tonian Jeremy Loops, who's off to LA just next week, where he'll be showcasing his music to the top kind of music execs in the world. So we'll have to see where his music goes from here. But you really have to experience his live shows, and then you'll know why he's winning awards such as the best solo artist in South Africa. Really a great guy, and seems a very down-to-earth and humble guy.
The Hayley O Show. Every Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Only on bulls.co.za.